Welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they are telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we're going to look at this woman here. She's Susan Hall. She wants to be the mayor of London, and she claims she's been pickpocketed on the tube. But is she lying like a lot of people seem to suspect? Let's find out by analysing her words. The background to this story is Susan on Monday night, as we record this, claimed that she had been pickpocketed that day on the tube, which meant that, well, the time was right for a new mayor, wasn't it? Because the current one just can't look after crime on the tube. Pickpocketing is going rife. She's been a victim of it, and it allowed her to make a political point. But is she telling the truth? A lot of people thought she wasn't. So let's look at what she had to say when she was interviewed about this morning. And I want you to look out for a few things here when you listen to it. I want you to listen to her say, "No idea." I'm going to tell you what that means. I also want you to listen out for if she says, "I was pickpocketed," or anything even vaguely similar to that. By the way, if you're not from the UK, the tube is the London Underground train system, and it'll help you to know that the Oyster card is the pass that you need to get on or off that system. Are you ready? Let's listen to what she said. Remember, listen out for "I was pickpocketed" and "no idea."
Good morning, Nick. Well, I have to tell you, I'm the luckiest woman in the world because I've actually got it back. But I just did a normal journey, and same thing with lots of people that are pickpocketed or whatever. You just get to the end of your journey and realize that you don't have your Oyster or your parcel.
There you go. So what does she actually say there? She says the same thing with a lot of people who get pickpocketed, but she doesn't actually say she got pickpocketed. She's only talking in general at this point. So we still haven't heard her say, "I was pickpocketed." Let's continue.
Or whatever. And that's what happened to me. And I had no idea where it could have gone.
Right. I had no idea where it could have gone, she said. I had no idea where it could have gone. I want you to remember she said that, okay?
I have very, very deep pockets in my winter coat, which I keep it in, or I kept it in. I will never do that again. I'll lock it in my handbag. It wasn't there. I had on one of the trains that I went on, somebody was fiddling around beside me and pushing and shoving, and I'd assumed that that's where it had gone.
I assumed that's where it had gone. This person jostling into her and knocking into her. I assumed that that's where it had gone. But hang about, you just told us 20 seconds ago, I had no idea where it had gone. And now you're telling us you had some idea where it had gone. This is a brilliant example of the phrase "no idea" being used. We always have an idea of what has happened. We've got some ideas. We've maybe got countless ideas. Maybe we've got one or two ideas, but most of the time we do have some idea of what has happened. So when she says "no idea where it had gone," I went, I think you have some ideas. And lo and behold, she does have some ideas where it had gone. I assumed that's where it had gone, she said. So at this point, she's contradicted herself. So I'm not sure this story is entirely true. Let's go on with her.
But when I got home, because in my Oyster card holder, I've also got my business card, somebody phoned me and said he'd seen somebody sitting on it. Most odd. He'd asked him if it was his. I just don't get it. Asked him if it was his. He said no, it wasn't. So he said, "Well, give it to me."
Now, at this point, most people watching or listening to this interview thought, you just dropped your wallet on the train. You just dropped your wallet on the train. You have not been pickpocketed at all. But no, she still hasn't said yet that she has been pickpocketed.
So the chap took it and saw my number. So I'm very, very lucky.
Let's just get a couple of details here, if we may. Susan, where did you board the tube and where were you going?
Westminster back to Pinner. So Jubilee line and then onto the Metropolitan line.
What sort of time of day was it?
Oh, this was mid-afternoon.
Now, you'll notice that she's gone from smoothly telling her story to being thrown these hardball questions, or not hardball questions, but ones maybe she hasn't planned for answering, and she's having to really think about it because this is off her prepared statements.
How crowded was the tube carriage?
Not like it is in the morning. I mean, people were standing, but
And you get home, presumably, or oh no, you go to get your oyster, presumably, to get off the train. That's when you go to get, well, you get off the train, you get to the barrier, and suddenly you realise you've been robbed.
Well, you realise it's not where it was.
So she's put it to her by the interviewer, Nick Ferrari. You realise you've been robbed. The perfect chance to say, yes, I realised then I'd been robbed, or yes, I realised I'd been pickpocketed. And her reply is, you realise it's not where it was. So she still hasn't said she's been pickpocketed.
And you have no idea what's happened. And I mean, obviously.
And that's it. But she does finish off with another classic. You have no idea what's happened, and yet she's told us she had some idea. She thought it had gone when this man was jostling and knocking next to her. So, was she pickpocketed? I don't think so. She never once says she's pickpocketed. Was she lying? No, she was never actually lying, because she never once said she was pickpocketed. So, Susan Hall, mayoral candidate, not a liar, also not pickpocketed.